Today we are going to study imperfect tense or past progressive tense. დღეს ჩვენ ვისწავლით წარსულ პროგრესიულ ფორმას. So in this video we are going to study how to say, for example, I was making, I was reading, I was eating, these kinds of imperfect tense or past progressive tense. Georgian language doesn't have the present progressive tense, like I'm doing, I'm sleeping, I'm talking, etc., etc. But as for the past tense, Georgian language has the imperfect tense, and today we are going to study about this. And fortunately, the way we make in imperfect tense, past progressive tense in Georgian is not that complicated. It's rather kind, easy, simple. So in this video we are going to study the pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3 verbal conjugations, imperfect tenses. So I made one slide here now. It's about the pattern 1 imperfect tense, and after this slide I prepared another slide which is about the pattern 2, pattern 3 verbal conjugation, imperfect past progressive tense. So we have two slides for the grammar instruction, and then we are going to see the examples. It's not that hard, so that's why I put them all together in this video. So how to make the imperfect tense in Georgian? It's actually simple. We only have to add do or ought to the present tense. We have to add do for the pattern 1 verbal conjugation, and we have to add odd to the pattern 2 verbal conjugation. And as for the pattern 3 verbal conjugation, we are going to study about that later on. But as for the pattern 3 verbal conjugation, it's technically similar to pattern 1 verbal conjugation, but sometimes it has to it can be different. But let's take a look at the pattern 1 verbal conjugation imperfect tense. Okay, so it's very easy. In order to make the imperfect tense for pattern 1 verbal conjugation, pattern 1 verb, we have to add do, and that's it. Do to the present tense. So for example, me, the first person marker, and then verb root, and then do, and then we have to add e, vowel e at the end of the verb, and that's it. That's it. As for shen, you, singular form, it doesn't have v, right? So it starts with the verb root do and e. It ends with e. As for is, as for third person singular form, verb root do and are. When we talk about the imperfect tense, past progressive tense, we don't need to use the ergative cases. So the subject for the sentence should be in nominative case, and the object for the sentence should be in a dative case, which refers to the object. Okay, so it's not like the past tense that we learned, where we have to use the ergative case for the subject. It's very simple. Subject, nominative case, object, dative case, and that's it. So 주변, right? This is how we have to make the third person singular form imperfect tense. Is, verb root da, and as for 주변 and 그변, we just have to add to at the end of the verb to the first person and second person singular forms, right? And as for the third person plural form, isini, not mat, not ergative case, but nominative case as usual. Isini, verb root, do, and nem. But this is like theoretical thing. So let's take a look at the actual verb, archetypes, to do or to make, right? This is a present tense, so we have to make the imperfect tense from this one. So for example, me, if you want to say I was doing, I was making. Me, v, first person singular form, aketebe, verb root, and di. Me baketebudi. I was doing, I was making. Baketebudi. As for shen, we just have to get rid of the first person marker, and that's it. So shen aketebudi, shen aketebudi. And then third person singular form is, not man, not ergative case, but nominative case, is aketebuda. It's actually we just have to change the last vowel to a. So shen aketebudi and is aketebuda, right? And as for chwen and kwen, we have to add to the end of the verbs for first person and second person singular forms, right? So me baketebudi and chwen baketebudit. Shen aketebudi, kwen aketebudit, right? Two, and that's it. And the third person plural forms, isini, they, aketebudne, aketeb, verb root, de, and ne, aketebudnem. They were doing, they were making. So this is how we make the imperfect tense for pattern 1 verbs. It's simple, I think, rather. Now let's take a look at how we can make imperfect tense, past progressive tense for second and third pattern verbs. So now we have the second slide here. As for the pattern 2 verbs, we have to add odd to the verb root. So for example, me, first person marker, verb root, and odd, e, not de, odd. Well, actually that's it. We have to add odd, and that's it. Me, the first person marker, verb root, odd, and shen, verb root, odd, and e, and is third person singular form, verb root, odd, and a. And as for chwen and kwen, you have to add to, and that's it. So chwen, v, verb root, oddit, t. Don't forget to add to, and kwen as well. Verb root, odd, eat, right? And isini, they, verb root, odd, nem, and that's pretty much it. This is how we have to make the past progressive tense for pattern 2 verbs. And as for example, brundeba, right? Actual verb brundeba, it means to go back or to return, right? How we can make the imperfect tense, past progressive tense from this one? It's very easy. For example, if you want to say I was going back, me v brundebodi, me brundebodi, me brundebodi. I was returning or I was going back. And shen brundebodi, we have to get rid of a v from the past person, and that's it. And is, he or she, brundeboda, he or she was going back, returning. Is brundeboda, and chwen and kwen, we have to add to, and that's it. So me brundebodi and chwen brundebodit, that's it. Shen brundebodi and kwen brundebodit. It's easy, right? Just only 1, 2, and that's it. And as for the third person plural form, isini, they, brundebodnem. Isini brundebodnem. They were going back, they were returning. Isini brundebodnem. And as for, this is how we make the imperfect tense for pattern 2 verbs. And as for pattern 3 verbs, actually it's very similar. It's the same to the pattern 1 verb conjugation, or pattern 1 imperfect tense. But if the pattern 3 verb ends with vowel e, we have to use odd. In other cases, we can just add d. So for example, lapalakos, right? Lapalakos, to speak, right? To speak, lapalakos. But I was speaking, he was speaking, you were speaking. We have to, since it's a pattern 3 verb, which is which is the same as the pattern 1, so we have to add, all we have to add is do to the present tense to make the imperfect tense, right? So lapalakos, he speaks, or she speaks or something. And lapalakobda, just add do and da, just add do and lapalakobda, he was speaking, she was speaking. But if the verb ends with e, vowel e, we have to add od, not do. For example, mujeres, to sing. If we want to say he was singing or she was singing, since it ends with the vowel E, the verb root ends with the vowel E, we have to add od, not do. So, mujeroda, he was singing, she was singing. Mujeroda. But technically, pattern 3 verbs are the same as pattern 1. So, in most of the cases, you have to just add do to make the imperfect tense. But if the vowel ends with e, we have to add od, and that's pretty much it. We kind of went through pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3 imperfect tenses. I hope it's not that complicated. And now let's take a look at the examples, actual examples.
მე საჭმელს ვაკეთებდი. შენ საჭმელს აკეთებდი. მეგობარი საჭმელს აკეთებდა. მე საჭმელს ვაკეთებდი. შენ საჭმელს აკეთებდი. მეგობარი საჭმელს აკეთებდა. ჩვენ საჭმელს ვაკეთებდით. თქვენ საჭმელს აკეთებდით. მეგობრები საჭმელს აკეთებდნენ. ჩვენ საჭმელს ვაკეთებდით. თქვენ საჭმელს აკეთებდით. მეგობრები საჭმელს აკეთებდნენ.
The first example here is again to make. I was making, he was making, blah blah blah. Architects, right? And it's imperfect tense. It's very easy. For example, if we want to say I was making food, we have to say, first of all, we have to say me, nominative case me, sachimel's dative case. Sachimeli, food, and sachimel's food, but object dative case, sachimel's baketebudi. Me sachimel's baketebudi, imperfect tense, baketebudi. And then you are making food, shen, nominative, sachimel's, sachimeli, but dative case, sachimel's, object, aketebudi. Shen, sachimel's, aketebudi. And a friend was making food, megobari, not megobarima, not the arbitrary case, but nominative case. Megobari, sachimel's, aketebuda. Megobari, sachimel's, aketebuda. And as for we are making food and you are making food, for the plural forms, we have to add to, and that's it. So, 주변 사치모스 바케테브딧. And tkben 사치모스 아케테브딧. Again, and that's it. It's simple, I think. And a friends were making food. Friends were making food. Plural form, right? Megobari, friend. Megoburebi, friends. Megoburebi, 사치모스 아케테브드넨. Megoburebi, 사치모스 아케테브드넨. So, 바케테브디, 아케테브디, 아케테브다. 바케테브디, 아케테브디, 아케테브드넨. So this is how to make the imperfect tense. Kind compared to the past tense, right? I think. Now let's take a look at the second example.
მე სახლში ბრუნდებოდი. შენ სახლში ბრუნდებოდი. მეგობარი სახლში ბრუნდებოდა. მე სახლში ბრუნდებოდი. შენ სახლში ბრუნდებოდი. მეგობარი სახლში ბრუნდებოდა. ჩვენ სახლში ბრუნდებოდით. თქვენ სახლში ბრუნდებოდით. მეგობრები სახლში ბრუნდებოდნენ. ჩვენ სახლში ბრუნდებოდით. თქვენ სახლში ბრუნდებოდით. მეგობრები სახლში ბრუნდებოდნენ.
So the second example, brundeba, to go back, to return, right? And it's imperfect tense. For example, if we want to say I was going back home, we have to say me, nominative, sahlshi, sahli, home, and she in sahlshi, brundebodi. Because it's a pattern 2 verb, we have to add od, not d, od, brundebodi. Me sahlshi brundebodi. And next, you were going back home, or you are returning to your home. Shen, singular, second person singular form. Shen, nominative. Sahlshi, brundebodi. Shen, sahlshi, brundebodi. And next, a friend was going back home. Megobari, nominative. Megobari, sahlshi, brundeboda, oda. brundeboda. And we were going back home, you were going back home for plural form. It's very easy. We just want to add t at the end of the verb, and that's it. So 집엔 사흘씩 brundebodit. That's it. And 그ven 사흘씩 brundebodit. As for the third person, plural form megobrebi, megobari friend, megobrebi friends, megobrebi sahlshi brundebodne. So it's a bit long, but brundebodne. So brundebodi, brundebodi, brundeboda, brundebodit, brundebodne. Repeating, that's it. So this is how we can make the imperfect past progressive tense for the Georgian language. Compared to the past tense, I think it's more kind, I think. Today that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Abahi. I got my hair cut.